fans round, working a strong style. People stand up and chant loud when he walks down the aisle. 100% high for talent, grapples on the mat, high flies and does death matches. Second time in TOT, exile, brain damage through a hard fist to the chin. Drew a gallon of ooze from the forehead, a short thread of skin blows in the wind. It's dangling, fierce lines smashing from the Drake's land, and you got both of your arms locked in. Like David Lynch in the race ahead. All the huge cuts make you produce adrenaline. Gas meant for oxygen, breathe it all in. Take a bump like Gage where the tubes are standing. The shit's insane.
A lot of, you know, just knowledge of how to handle yourself outside the ring and everything. How to, like, the referee position it's unique because you're technically talent, right? You have a talent contract. So
correct.
You're technically like part of the boys, but you also have to toe the line a little bit because you're also kind of like part office as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's a unique position, and there's only, you know, less than 20 WWE referees in the entire world. Well, there's hundreds of wrestlers. You know,
well, you know that.
Yeah, so it's very unique. But not Kyoto, and like I always tell referees, like if you want to see the almost perfect way to execute refereeing a big match, big tight field, watch Hogan vs. Rock from WrestleMania 18, but watch Kyoto the whole time.
Yeah.
Everything he did in that match, dude, like the energy he brought, from the way he rung the bell, to the way that he brought the thunder on his counts, and then like the bump where he got bumped out. I think it was like a drop down, Rock freaking hit him or something like that. The way they timed that out, it was textbook, absolutely textbook. So no, that's an insanely great match to watch. That and if you Shawn Michaels and Cena had a match on Raw one time, randomly on Raw. That Kyoto was the ref.
He also reffed their WrestleMania match, and he stopped a streaker at the beginning of it.
He did. Yes. That's right. He's such a good dude.
Well, that's a good That's a good question. I just thought of any fan interactions while you were reffing at WWE. Like,
I didn't have much.
any of it.
No, nobody. One time somebody got in the ring at an NXT live event, but it was like at a Tampa Armory, like a small one, like some guy, and like the guy just walked around the guardrail and just walked up. But Tucker Knight, who was at the time he was Otis's part, they were Heavy Machinery.
Right.
Tucker Knight just went up, blasted the dude. That was it. It was the end of that. So, as far as weird fan interaction, it actually happened in Philly. When NXT first went on the road, 2015, we did the I think it was the Tower Theater.
Upper Darby.
Yeah, Tower Theater.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember it was real cool because like it was during that time where Nick Gage was out of where he was institutionalized, but before he went back in.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so him, Danny Havoc, a few others came to the show, and I brought them to like the after party, right? So it was like two of my worlds like blending together.
Oh yeah.
You know? And then like Tommy Dreamer was there, Joey Styles was there. It's kind of like an ECW reunion type thing. Anyway, be that as it may, we went back to the hotel after, and there was like fans trying to get into the elevator with some of the female wrestlers and ride it. And like I remember I had to like almost physically push some fans back.
Yes.
And like because like it's weird, like at a hotel, man, that's technically, man, that's their home. That's their house for the day.
And
like lobby, okay, whatever, but like when you're going in the floors, airport, okay, that's a common area, sure. It's kind of creepy when they know what flight you're taking, and they're, you know.
And I see things online like they'll have the 10 Funkos to a poster board taped, or 20 magazine. You know what I mean? Like it's a little excessive.
It is. And a lot of times, guys would be like, and I didn't get it a lot, but you know, they would ask the refs too, say, hey, can you sign this? And be like, who do I make it out to? and they wouldn't say it because they're trying to resell it.
And that's the bad thing. And that hurts. That hurts just like a random fan hopping into somebody in public, and it hurts everything.
Right. It's absolutely it's terrible. But yeah, especially like the hotel, man. Like, it should be off limits, dude. That's their house.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like showing up at somebody's front door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it didn't happen a whole lot. Just more so just the airport interactions of people just trying to hustle action figures and stuff.
Oh yeah, we always heard stories from the Iron Sheik about Andre the Giant. I mean, this is back before social media. He'd tell the fans no autograph. Get the fuck away. he was supposed to be babyface. He's the Giant.
Yeah.
Who else? CM Punk doesn't like signing in public.
Yep.
But it's like when nowadays with cell phones, everything is like if it's going to be taken out of context. If a wrestler is rude to, and fan in public, and it's.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
If you were at a show and you saw somebody you knew from like when you were wrestling, and said, "Hey, right," and you see them, are you allowed to acknowledge them?
Oh, I would every time. Oh my god!
Oh, you would
at a live event? Yeah, non-televised live event? Yeah. 100%.
What if it was like an NXT pay-per-view type of thing?
Oh, I mean, I'd give them like a hey, because they like, especially when we were at Wells Fargo Center or whatever. There'd always be like a handful of people like, yeah, drink CZ Dub.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, yeah. You know what I mean?
I didn't know if they're told not to acknowledge anything.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't make a big deal of it, but no, man, that makes you feel good.
Oh, okay.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Yeah. And plus, when fans come to a show and they pay tickets, like them getting acknowledged and them like that's a big deal because they're gonna remember that. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah. How far early in advance would you know you're wrestling a match, like a big match?
Yeah. So for WrestleMania or for like a takeover?
Like a not like a pay-per-view.
Yeah. So here I'll give you two circumstances. So like takeover, as far as like a takeover or even a TV match, it's like a bigger like two or three segment main event type match. Like I would know that, like, let's say NXT Takeover. We'll know that like a month in advance. And during my time there, I was like the senior official, so I would just kind of put those matches out. And then a lot of times they'd have time to rehearse that and go through it a lot at the Performance Center. Now, like TV, it's kind of week to week. So you'll know like the night before or the day of. Oh. Yeah. Like I felt like the day of. One of my proudest matches that I had, and it doesn't get talked about a lot because it was like in the heart of 2020, during the heart of COVID. But at Full Sail, I reffed a 60-minute Ironman match, and it was Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano, like four like monster top dogs, and I hung in there with and there's a lot that a referee has to communicate in the midst of that because you got to go into commercial break. You're coming back from commercial breaks. We're going to instant replay, or we're going to replays. Hey, we need you to stay here for a minute. Sometimes the guys will want me to remind them of certain stuff that's coming up that they, you know what I mean, because it's a lot to remember. And plus, I got to remember what each fall is. You know what I mean? What each fall is. So I was real proud of that one because it was 60 minutes. It's just cool to kind of have that under your belt. I did it as a wrestler for CCW with Sam Callahan, and to be able to do it as a referee too, it's kind of a feather in the cap type thing, But point being, I found that out the day of, so there's no mental preparation for that. It's just like, here we go, we're doing a 60-minute Ironman match. WrestleMania, for those matches, we would know them about a month in advance. Yeah, a month or 3 weeks. Sometimes they would if it's say it's like. At WrestleMania 34, Undertaker wrestled Cena. Nobody but Undertaker, Cena, the agent, talent relations, and the referee knew. Like they had a golf cart take the referee and the agent to a secret area where they had a ring set up. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So it's some of that stuff is kept close to the vest. But yeah, for a bigger show, I mean, we would know on average 3 weeks, a month in advance. And at all the WrestleMania hotels, we would set up 4 or 5 rings, so that way they would be there so they could rehearse. We would have set rehearsals. Hey, report to rehearsal at this time. and be the referee, the talent, and the producer. We'd have crash pads there and everything as well if they wanted to try stuff. So, yeah, man, a lot of thought, and a lot of, whenever you're working with camera angles and time restraints and everything like that, especially on that big a stage, with that much pressure, and also with that much money on the line, you want to make sure that you're delivering the absolute best that you can. So yeah, they would get that down.
Like on NXT, when you guys used to tour with NXT,
yeah,
what would be your day? You were
Yes.
you were like main referee, right? One of the main
ring crew referee. Yeah.
What would be your day like? What time would you wake up?
Yeah.
The wrapping up and taking the truck away.
Well, I'll tell you
what would be the whole day?
The week.
Schedule?
I'll tell you the week.
Okay.
Loop. It was super cool.
Okay.
So NXT live events on their loop or their tour or whatever, it would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got to think at the time, NXT style was, they're doing big matches every single night. You know what I mean? Like there's no phoning it in. Not that anybody else phones it in up there or anything like that, but I mean, like Roderick Strong is not going to take a night off.
No,
Johnny Gargano's not taking a night off. I mean, they're freaking delivering. They're hitting brain busters. They're doing backbreakers. They're doing Canadian destroyers on the floor. Everything like that. 4 or 5 nights a week, right? So, for me, for the referee, again, we have that line where we're part talent, and then as a ring crew referee, you're also part of the production crew, right? So, the first show will be on Thursday. Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening, I would fly to the town, right? Check into the hotel, find a gym, work out, blah, blah, blah. And so let's say it's a California loop. So I'll fly into Sacramento, right? And and then the next morning we have to load in at say 9 a.m. right? So I would wake up probably 6 a.m., have my coffee, meditation, whatever, work out, get a good breakfast. 8 o'clock, we're out. We got to meet in the lobby, get on the bus. It's a tour bus and everything. So then the first night is in a hotel, but then the next 4 nights we're sleeping on the tour bus. So it's like, it's like in music. It's a bed, and it's like you're in a little coffin. But I slept great on it. I did. Yeah. So, I mean, they're luxury buses, man. I mean, great. They had kitchen, full kitchen, bathroom, everything like that. So, take the bus to the venue, and then meet with the local stagehands, right? I mark where the center of the building is for the ring, and then the trucks start getting unloaded by the stagehands.
What time is that about?
It's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. If it's a regular show that starts at 7:30. Now, if it's a matinee show, it's a whole other animal. But anyway, for simplistic purposes, 9 a.m. load in. The ring was usually in the back of the truck, so, my section of that work, it would be about 3 hours, because I'd help unload cases and everything, and then each and every single night, I'm teaching 10 people how to build a ring every night. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, so you got to have your eyes on a lot, because if somebody turns the ropes the wrong way, they're going to snap, or anything like that. So, I lead him on carrying out the ring posts, carrying out the cross beams, carrying out the wood planks, put the skirts on, put the ropes on. Sometimes we have to make new ropes as well. So anyway, so that's Thursday, right? There's 2 referees on the event, the ring crew referee and the talent referee. The talent referee just strictly refs matches and rides on the talent bus. Ring crew referee rides on the crew bus, but also has an obligation to referee as a talent, right? So, which was also great because there's 2 paychecks in that. So that was cool too. Oh. Yeah. But anyway, so 8 matches is your average amount of matches on a show. So we're each repping 4 matches that are going to be 15 to 25 minutes each. After the main event, change up, tear down the show. Last one out of the arena, generally, let's say by midnight. Grab something to eat, get on the bus, go to sleep, wake up in the next town, wherever that may be. Say if we start in Sacramento, then it's going to be, let's say, San Luis Obispo, all right, or Santa Maria, whatever, somewhere around there. We do that. Do the same thing the next day. Now I wake up 9 a.m. Now this time I'm on tour after I build the ring with the guys. Then I'm gonna go find a local gym. I'll get my workout in. Sometimes I might come back, take a little cat nap before the talent arrives. Again, rep 4 matches, tear down, something to eat, back on the bus. Third night, we might be in Anaheim, right? So freaking do the same thing. 9 a.m. loaded, go to the gym, rep 4 matches, right with the band, last one out of the building, tear down. Final show might be San Diego. Again, it's not realistic as Sacramento, San Diego, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Do the same thing, except after the show, after we tear down, then we go to a hotel, and then the next day I fly home. And then in NXT, when I flew home, like a lot of times, again, that's a travel day, so that's a work day, right? Because I'm traveling home, do laundry real quick, try to be dad, try to be a husband, all that.
That's Monday.
Yes, and then the next day, back at the Performance Center doing class, getting ready, and then TV's on Wednesday. Wow. So yeah. So yeah, it was. Again, they did those 2 or 3 times a month. But it was a heck of a schedule. It really was.
What time did the wrestlers have to be at the arena?
They would get there at say 5 o'clock or so.
How did they travel?
NXT via bus. Main roster via rental cars.
This is TV or house shows you're talking about?
Live events.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in the WWE vocabulary.
I'm telling you.
They don't like the word house show.
It's
a
live event.
Yeah, live event. Yep.
It's a championship, not a belt.
Yep. Belt holds up your pants. Championship is prestigious. Yeah. Yeah.
I always
also if you say like she, he, was like
pronouns,
pal. Who is he? Who is he?
Well, the rumor.
And the wrestlers keep their belts with them. Whoever wins the belt.
It's not a belt.
Strap. No, but they get to carry. They carry it with them at all times.
Correct.
Has anybody?
So here's also another insider. So there is the live event championship that they travel with, and then on TVs they have a TV one that's kept in the road cases. It's polished up, it's beautiful, it looks good as new, and then they have the live event.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
What about throwing the belt and abuse? Like when they're not allowed to just like throw the belt. You know how in indie shows you'll see guys like throw the belt in the ring?
Oh, I get hit. No, that's disrespectful. Yeah. Oh,
really?
God, no.
Throw it from where?
What?
Or are you talking about throwing it on the ground?
No, like in indie shows.
We'll ask. Okay, so
you've seen people throw belts like in rings, like just like
there was. I'll give an example.
Yeah,
so there was a battle royal, like a staggering battle royal, like Royal Rumble that AEW was doing, gauntlet, whatever the heck they're calling it.
Yeah.
Guys coming out intervals. Will Ospreay comes out, but it's a battle royal for the heavyweight title shot.
Okay.
But he's the whatever the mid-card title
champion or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's coming down the ramp. He's got his belt on.
Yeah.
And he grabs it before he gets in the ring, throws it to the ground, and then dashes in the ring.
Ooh. Yeah, I personally don't like that.
That's
But it's a WWF. They're not allowed to they're not allowed to. They're very technical.
Like he's got the belt. He's got the belt.
Oh God, no. Yeah. If anything, if it's like a run-in situation like that, I mean, they take it off and toss it to the timekeeper or something, or like Cena, he a lot of times he would toss it to the referee or something like that. But you never let it hit the ground like that.
Oh.
Now, unless there are specific characters where remember like the Undertaker, he would the old say early '90s Undertaker, he would drag the title.
Yes.
That fit his character, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The Dudley Boys would wear it around their neck, just stuff like that. Yeah. It's character dependent.
Did people ever break it out at a restaurant? Like you don't have to. No, I mean I don't know.
No. Now I will say one time the Revival FTR now when they won the tag titles, because at the Florida live events the talent built the ring with the refs, right? And at the next live event they did a ring build wearing their championships. The top guys.
Funny.
Yeah, they were my favorite tag team to work with. They were awesome. Yeah, one of my favorite matches. Probably it might be my favorite match I ever refed. Was Brooklyn Takeover 2 in 2016. Those guys against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
Yeah. I think it was at the first Brooklyn.
Yeah, 2015.
The one where Joe and Finn.
Yep.
That was at that one.
Yeah. The second one, 2016, that match is my favorite match because we worked so hard on it. We've, put in a lot of hours at the Performance Center, just kind of help put it together. And those 4 guys, they did a great job of legitimately working behind the referee's back. You know what I mean? They used the referee a lot in that match. And then there was one moment of the match, one beat that was like, I had to be really on for it. It was 1, 2, and then I counted 3, but I had to look up and see if the foot was on the rope. And like the camera had to see my reaction, had to see my eyes getting the eyesight of the foot on the rope. And I had to like have a good pace of not, because I had to like wave off the 3 count that I just made, but I couldn't do it too fast, and we rehearsed it a lot, and so it was like, specifically, I had to do it at a certain speed and a certain beat, so that way this camera can catch it, that camera can catch it, and the announcers can catch it, absorb it, and then lay it out for the fans as well. And so, obviously there's all the people watching at home, but then there's, 13,000, 14,000 people in the arena as well, or whatever it was. It's New York City, you know what I mean, Brooklyn, so it's like, it's like, you got one take, man, you know what I mean? Once the red light's on, that's it.
And those counts are split, like 1/100th of a second, guy's shoulder. I'll DVR it and fast forward and be like, put it on slow motion and be like, hey, Barry, he got it.
Yeah,
right. It didn't look like it, right?
Yeah.
But you got to watch it.
And the rule, I think, is that you're supposed to still count the 3, even if
they don't.
What's that story? Yeah,
that's happened to me once, a couple times. But the big one that
not
happened
a big match, like maybe on TV or something where you can eat. Not a big WrestleMania match. I don't think they would allow, or maybe.
So if it happened, then they would send somebody out to on the spot restart it in a way, because that's happened before on TV.
Oh yeah,
yeah, absolutely. No, because if not, then the ref's gonna get fined. If he makes the business.
There's
look
that
bad.
famous, I don't know if it's DiBiase Jr. or Cody Rhodes, that referee tried to F on me. That clip on YouTube. Something happened. There was a match or something where Sin Cara and DiBiase or somewhere.
Oh really? No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate looper.
Well, the match where I had to make the count that wasn't the original finish. It was actually at Brooklyn. You were there. First 2015. But
was it the women's?
Yep, the women's 4-way.
Oh wow!
And it was taped before we went live. It was the next week's episode. Of
yes.
TV. Yeah. So it was Dana Brooke, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Emma. Charlotte Flair's skyrocketing to the top. Charlotte Flair's supposed to win, right? And so Emma gave Becky Lynch like her side splash in the corner, evolution or whatever she called it. And it's one fall over the finish, right? It's not elimination. She pulls Becky Lynch out. It's supposed to be 1-2 kick out, right? So she covers Becky. I slide down and I go 1, 2, and I'm looking and Becky's like, her eyes are closed. And I'm like, oh God. 3.
Yeah.
And then like Emma looks at me like, what just happened? And then also at that same time, a wire got split or something, and so my earpiece is out. Oh. I'm hearing nothing. So I'm thinking like, oh my God, they're freaking out. I was like, I can't hear nothing. And this is right before we had the microphones where we could talk back, right? And so I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And so I was told Emma, I said, hey, I went to raise her hand. I said, hey, act happy. Just one, because she had that like legit. I said, hey, you won, act happy, you're the #1 contender. So I raise her hand, right? And then it goes to instant replay on the Titantron. I still call it the Titantron.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes to instant replay on the Titantron, right? And so I slide out and I stand behind Corey Graves just to see what it looked, and I was like, God, did I make the right call? And then I see and I'm like, okay, I made the right call. All right. And I'm still hearing nothing, right? Nothing. So I'm freaking out. I make this long walk up the ramp. One, like, I don't know, like, Charlotte and I were super cool at the time. I repped a lot of her early matches.
Sure.
So, you know, so I don't know if she's mad at me. I'm only a year in the company at this time, right? So I don't know if she's mad at me. I don't know if Becky's mad at me, you know, and I don't know if Becky's hurt. Producers are mad at me. So I make that long walk up the ramp, dude. I'm like, yo, like, what's gonna happen, right? And so I walk through the curtain, dude, and guess who's there? He's never been to an NXT show before, ever. And yep, Vince was standing in there. I'm like, oh my God. And so I look over at Scott Armstrong, who's the producer, the timing producer, right? He talks to the referees. And like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm fired. What's going on? What's going on? He stood up, Scott Armstrong stood up, he goes, hell yeah, Drake, that's what we do. You protected the business. Good call. Great job. And then, like, I'm like, oh, thank you, sir, because Vince is still right there. I don't know if, you know, I mean, one person might be happy about something, but it only matters who the head guy is. He's happy, right? And so, and I never met him, like, as an employee, right? And so, and then I turn over, and he walked up to me, and he goes, made a great call out there. Good job. And he put his hand. I was like, oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. And then, like, I had this sigh of relief, like, oh, thank God. And then, yeah, they were like, hey, man, one of the producers was like, hey, we'll make sure you get a bonus for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and Becky understood. I mean, she was knocked out, you know. So, but again, it's show business. It's live TV. You just gotta roll. You gotta roll with it. So. Who knows? 7 times out of 10, I might not have made that call, you know, but just I happened to make the right call there.
I'm trying to remember the match because it's been a while.
Yeah, because the way the format was then, we would do the live takeover, but before then, we would tape the next week's episode. Yeah.
And if I can remember correctly, I'm trying to remember as a perspective watching in the crowd as a fan.
Yeah.
It looked awkward, but I believe at the time, Becky and Charlotte, they already got called up to go to main roster.
They were on their way. It was close.
It seemed plausible that, hey, maybe they were just doing the honors on the way out.
Yeah.
So it didn't look completely awkward.
Right. They were doing that.
Because they were
they had Team Bad with Sasha. And then,
So it did not look completely out of place.
Right. Yeah.
But definitely something felt a little bit abrupt.
Nobody was expecting Emma to win. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, you know.
Did anything go about that? Like once Emma won, did she was the number 1 contender?
Yeah.
They just went with it.
Yeah. You have to. You have to.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Absolutely. One time on Raw, I remember I was Shinsuke Nakamura. R-Truth pinned Shinsuke Nakamura or something when he wasn't supposed to. Shin just kicked out late. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that happens. And they'll send Adam Pearce out there.
We're going to restart the match.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, have you seen the one? It was from, I want to say what was it, Backlash in France when there was, it was the New Bloodline against Kevin Owens and, who's the other one? Randy Orton.
Got it.
Yeah.
And the finish was supposed to be Camacho, Haku's son.
Yep.
Supposed to make a return, part of the bloodline.
Yep.
But he's supposed to come from under the ring, pull the ref's feet out under the 2.
Yeah.
He
I
missed
have not
his cue.
seen this, by the way.
So Camacho, Haku, misses his cue to pull the ref's feet out before the 2. So the ref just slides out. Now the production did an amazing job at not capturing it, but of course cell phone cameras, it's on the internet within an hour. You just see the sliding ref out, and then Camacho's there. Oh, missed his cue. So there's things like that happen.
And you know what's crazy? Like there would be a monitor under the ring,
right,
and a stagehand, or one of the tech guys there with him as well. So I wonder what happened there. You know what I mean? Yeah, because the stage tech can hear everything the producer says. So
are those guys still under the ring the whole night? I mean, you hear about like a Mick Foley, you know?
No, so no.
They get
in between matches, the lights will get dark.
Then they'll put a
hoodie over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So there's smoke and mirrors to get around.
Yes.
But back in the day, yes, they would be under there the whole entire night.
Oh yeah. Like you
With
can definitely see.
with a a cooler of whatever, some sandwiches, and a monitor, and if you gotta go to the bathroom, get creative.
Like Hornswoggle under there the whole time. You definitely see the smoke and mirrors when you see the show live a lot more. Like I know we were at a show in Philly and it was Braun Strowman against Lashley, and the finish was to like I think Lashley or I think whoever somebody's supposed to get speared through the drywall. So a match before that, you see them putting the drywall in place, outside, things like that.
What was always awkward for me as a referee was like in commercial breaks, like the entrances would happen and then we're in commercial break, but I just have to stand there like this for 3 minutes and like these guys say, what I mean?
Yes.
Commercial before the match, right? They'll bring the wrestlers out.
Yeah.
And then they'll like go to a commercial, and then they'll go do a backstage promo. It's like the whole time they're waiting in the ring.
Correct. It's TV. Yeah. They say don't worry about the 6,000, worry about the 6 million watching at home. So or NXT, don't worry about the 600, think about the 6 million. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was the analogy they would use a lot. And it's you're making movies.
And that's part of it, learning, not only learn how to referee, but learning how to referee to a television audience. How to keep yourself out the focus.
Yep. It's a whole nother
making sure you're
being in focus when you have to be, but also you have to communicate to people across the ring. If it's tags, it's even more like, hey, we're coming back in 7 seconds, and we're back in 5, back in 3. Okay, get ready. You know what I mean? Just so like, cause you're. I look at it as like we're like player coaches. Like we're in there, and like a lot of times, especially up there, like because back when I was there, it was Vince, but now say it's Hunter or whatever. They might kind of have to be freaking out, and it's nothing personal. It's just television time, and like, hey, this needs to happen now. So they'll there'll be elevated voices and elevated tension back there to the producer, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the producer feels that. Producer says that to the ref, and it's an elevated voice, elevated tension, maybe some 3 and 4 letter words.
Yes.
We have to hear that, process it, still act like we're officiating a real fight, and in the meantime, and not get caught or be too loud. Process it and calm. Like I always took I always took pride in like calmly delivering it to the talent. Not if I say it in a freaked out voice, they're going to freak out. They're going to tense up.
Oh yeah.
So I have to process what's being told to me, and then calmly relay it to the talent as well. So that way it gets executed. But I also don't want to throw them off their game. It's a science, dude. It really is. Yeah, big time. There's a lot that goes into it.
Now,
I don't want to say simple job. It is not easy. Not at all.
Now, when you're in the main roster, is it Vince in your ear? Is it Kevin Dunn?
No, we don't hear them at all.
Okay.
They talk to the producers. So in our area was whoever the timing producer was, which would be Billy Kidman or Scott Armstrong.
Okay.
And then whatever the producer was for the match.
Okay.
Whether it's a Tyson Kidd, Jason Jordan, Davari, whoever.
Well,
that producer is hearing from Vince/Hunter and Kevin Dunn. Mm-hmm. They're hearing
the whole hierarchy.
Yeah, it's a
of guys
going through. We hear the bottom. The only time I ever heard Vince in my ear was when I did the Tough Enough finale. Jericho actually went to bat.
I'm trying to remember which one. The Tough
2015. It was the one.
Was it Patrick?
I fixed the guy stole that work.
Okay.
So when you're refereeing, always be an arm length away from the referee?
Yes, when they're moving, right? Yeah. But whenever you're like, say they're in a hold, you want to be off to the back a little bit for TV, just because you want the side camera to be able to get them, you want that side camera to be able to get them, and then you want the hard camera to be able to get them. But you just kind of want to be kind of in the picture, but you can kind of step in, make sure you're checking on a choker or something like that, and then that's when you can deliver whatever verbiage you need to get to them. You know what I mean? You kind of pantomime and stuff like that to get your verbiage to them, get your cues and stuff like that. So yeah, you got to stay back, but then there's your split moments where you can get in there for a minute and then dip back out.
Do you remember Dick Worley?
Dick Worley? I remember the name, but yeah.
I heard Well, he was there before Hefner. I heard he trained Hefner.
That I don't know. Train Hebner? Train Earl Hebner?
Yeah.
That I don't know. That way before.
That goes back to what, the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never. The Hebners were long gone by the time I got there. Yeah.
Were you there in like the ring? Well, I know you did a couple times when the ring collapsed. You did like big show.
No,
It was like 2003.
No,
I think
they
it was.
did it again.
They did?
though. And I want to say 2019ish or so, but I was not there. Yeah. But in the warehouse, though, I did see the collapsible ring.
Nice.
And it's like, they have a whole nother ring. And then at like the outdoor WrestleManias, like in one 2019 in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Was that MetLife Stadium?
Yes.
We had a special room where we had heaters.
I was going to say that the heat. I always heard there was
Yeah,
heat on
absolutely.
the ring posts.
Yeah.
So they're not cold.
Yeah, and we had special padding and everything. So it's great. It was crazy to be a part of the production for all that.
Now, with you being a former wrestler,
Yeah.
did you ever do wrestle the people from the performance center, the younger ones?
Oh,
did you ever get in the ring?
I ran spots at the PC all the time, every day almost.
Every
yeah.
day?
Oh yeah.
Even to women?
Not really. Yeah, that's kind of frowned upon. But
No, I didn't know.
yeah, but no, like because I mean we're having class almost every day, and I don't want to just sit there in the corner. And so, and plus like majority of the guys knew me, and the coaches knew my hit. So I had like respect there in that regard. And plus, I always just wanted to stay in cardio shape as well. And plus, for me, if these guys are like, these are the guys that are bringing in the money, right? And if they're training, they're bumping, they're sweating and everything, like I want to show them like, hey man, I'm in this with you. So you know what I mean? And so I earn respect from the boys as well. But yeah, oh God, no. And like there would be so many cool little moments, like when Undertaker was getting ready for WrestleMania, right? He would come to the Performance Center.
Yes.
And he would like just jump in the rings, let's say Billy Gunn's class. And I was in Billy Gunn's class. There was this one day, it was awesome, dude. He was talking about the punches, right? And then like, I'm standing like arm's length away from him. And he was telling one of the guys about delivering a good punch. And then like all of a sudden he goes, yeah, you just tag the guy, pull it to where you touch the whiskers of his chin. And then he goes, just like this. And then he turns and he punches me.
Wow.
And dude, he punches me. And so I bump. But like, blood starts coming out of my chin.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, oh, sorry kid, I usually have gloves on. You know the day where he goes, sorry about that. But it was like, I went home and was like, hey, what'd you do at work today? Got punched by the Undertaker? So
You were happy about it.
cool. Yeah, well, of course I was.
I'd be like, I got it.
Oh God, no, that's a badge of honor.
Now, remind us what years were you with WWE, NXT, WWE?
Yeah, 2014 and 2021.
So we're talking the beginning of the network
the end of
kind of
2013,
era, right?
End of 2013, so 8 years about. Very beginning of the network, second class to go into the PC, very beginning of the Performance Center.
Was this still Full Sail?
Yes. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Majority of my time was at Full Sail. Yeah, we did the Capitol Wrestling Center towards the COVID. When COVID
I heard Glacier was working in the admissions office during that time.
Yes.
Mark Lloyd.
Yeah, he sure was, man. He whipped out
Ray Lloyd.
Yeah, absolutely. No, so it was there a long time, man. Real long time.
Were you there for the Royal Rumble where Titus went under the ring?
Saudi?
That was in Saudi Arabia. I did not do any of the Saudi shows. I wish I would have, though.
Good paydays, huh?
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's right, it was Saudi. Ridiculous.
That was.
You already know.
Oh yeah, I mean they're doing 2 a year now. I guess they're going to start doing international. Who you think WrestleMania will ever go international to England or the way things are looking?
I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I mean? Look, I mean they did Backlash in France. That's a huge deal. Clash at the Castle's huge. I mean all those international, what do they call them? Premium live events. Like those are big business. I could definitely see him doing Canada again, 100%.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they always had great success when WrestleMania was in Canada. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it for sure. I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I mean? I think England would be the place though where they would do it. You know,
they had Cena tease it. Well, last year, Money in the Bank, they brought out Cena, and he kind of got the crowd all hyped up for WrestleMania in England. Then Pat McAfee got the crowd all hyped up for a WrestleMania in Indianapolis.
Yes.
Which is rumored to be the Royal Rumble host city this year.
Yeah, I believe, and that's my hometown, where I'm originally from. So I went to WrestleMania 8 at the Dome, and, went to probably 30 events in Indiana growing up as a kid. So that's kind of cool, man. But I believe Lucas Oil Stadium is working on a multi-event deal.
What I think is, now you got SummerSlam moving to 2 nights. Mm-hmm. So not just WrestleMania, not this SummerSlam, but the next one in Minneapolis is going to be 2 nights now.
Yes.
I could see Royal Rumble going to 2 nights. The women's on one, the men's on the other.
Yeah.
Most likely the women's is not going to close, and it'll be a title match after it, unfortunately, and then you'll have the men's. Like you could do, like I like the 5-match card they do now.
And look, I'm a sucker for the Big 4 pay-per-views.
Yes.
Survivor Series, that's nostalgia what you grew up on. I love that there's so many events. It's great. Look, from a fan perspective, is it oversaturation? Perhaps. But the money that's being made on it, it's just, you have to do it. And from, at that standpoint. But I was so happy when WrestleMania went to 2 nights. And, sidebar, what's funny? Like, the biggest payday I got from the company, single night payday, was when I drove 20 minutes from my house to the WrestleMania at the Performance Center.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were there for...
Yeah. It was a 5-minute match with Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. Intercontinental title, huge, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, bell to bell was 5 minutes. It was 17-minute drive from my house. But it just goes to show you like again, way above my pay grade. I don't know the inner workings, but like the television rights deals, you know what I mean? Stuff
priority passes.
Yeah, and but at the time, I think it was still the network, or it might have been beginning of Peacock. I have no idea. I can't remember. That time was such a wild time, but. The sponsorships too. Snickers was a sponsor.
Yes.
Man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just like you could have 0 people, and the company brings in way more.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought that was wild. Man. Like, the year before, the year before was like MetLife Stadium, 80,000 people. The year before that,
I was at that one.
Yeah,
it was
year
way
before
too
that,
long.
The year before that, it was New Orleans, 78,000 people, and like. The Performance Center in front of nobody, or the WrestleMania in front of nobody at the training school that I go to every day was the biggest single night payday I ever made in my life.
What was the atmosphere like backstage? Because this was still kind of the beginning of COVID, so was it like, okay, you guys stay in the back in the trailer and come out at one time?
So I'll tell you, at that time Vince said, "Don't sell it." He was like, "Don't sell." They did temperature checks. And that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't sell it. You know what I mean? We're not going to have any fans, but it was weird because everything was pre-taped. You know what I mean? We taped WrestleMania all that week.
You were there for that?
Yeah.
The
I was
building?
a heavy part of it.
Right. Wow.
I was in the thick of it. Yeah. I was there from 8 a.m. to probably 3 a.m. every day, every single day. Yeah, absolutely. No, but at the beginning it was don't sell it, don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Are you sick? Have you left the country? Okay, cool, come on in. You know what I mean? Like it was like, and then somebody caught it, and then that's when everything changed.
Were you still there when they brought in, I guess, the trainees and they put them as plants behind the plexiglass?
Oh yeah, I booked those people.
Okay.
I booked the extras. Yeah, I was the extra talent booker at the time.
How did you do that?
Huh?
Indie guys?
Yeah. Yep.
So you dug them up?
Yeah.
Wow.
They would be in a database, but I would pick them, I would book them, and it was cool because if they took any kind of physicality, I had the empowerment to give them a bonus, and so like I always loved doing that for indie guys. You know what I mean? Like that was really cool. That was one of my favorite parts of the job. But yeah, back to your saying about the 2-night thing. The WrestleMania at MetLife Stadium, I remember Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch were on. It was kind of half raining, and it was like 1 in the morning. And dude, I felt myself almost falling. I was watching it, I almost felt myself almost falling asleep. Not because of the quality of the match. It was just so draining.
Yes.
It was such a, but the kickoff show, I think the kickoff show starts at like 5 p.m. And you're going till 1 in the morning. It's just too much. And so I was so glad they went for 2 nights. So glad.
I like it better. I was there that night. You didn't go to MetLife for that one. I was there, and
too much traffic for Mike. He hates
the Batista. I remember
There's not enough shortcuts for mine.
Stuck in the rain trying to get a $300
We got stuck because we stayed up. We stayed up in Jersey City. And we figured we'll stay up in Jersey, drive from Delaware to Jersey City, get a room, and then we'll just take the train because there's a metro right outside the stadium.
Yeah.
The show gets out at midnight. There's no train.
Yep.
It's 2 a.m. It's pouring down rain.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost like, I tell my wife, I said, there's one train pulling up. I don't care what we got to do. We got to push ourselves onto the train. Because if people aren't from the Northeast, they don't know, like, you can't go anywhere. You can't walk to a bar, restaurant, hang out. Like, there's nowhere to go once you leave MetLife Stadium.
It's all
You're in an island.
New Jersey or something, or what's the
East Rutherford, New
Yeah,
Jersey?
it's East Rutherford. Yeah.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck up there.
You're stuck. Yeah, you're gonna be waiting a long time for an Uber that you're not gonna know where it's at. Yeah. No, and I mean hotels weren't. There was no hotel walking distance. Sometimes it would be good when WrestleMania you could walk to a hotel. You know what I mean? A lot of times, but it wasn't happening then. I mean, we had to get Ubers.
You all were staying in Brooklyn, I believe.
Yeah,
because I ran into Rusev
because that's where Access was based.
Yeah,
in Brooklyn. Yeah,
I ran into Rusev and Brian Kendrick coming out of the hotel.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
over there,
Yeah.
we walked it. We had a good. The next day, Mike, you could tell us more about. We walked from. We took the train into the World Trade Center, walked the Brooklyn Bridge, all the way to the Barclays. Because in New York, you want to walk around and see everything. So that was a really good
In
walk.
springtime, it's generally pretty nice.
Oh,
yeah, totally. Yeah.
When we went to the MetLife Stadium, the first WrestleMania there, Mertz was me, Mertz, Lee, and his brother. We figured, Mertz is smart. He said, let's park our car at a hotel.
Yeah.
It was about a mile and a half away. We walked.
Yeah.
We walked it. We walked a mile and a half. They didn't kill us.
Right.
And we walked. The guy's like, don't worry about it. Like a regular Holiday Inn or something. And then after the show, we walked back to the hotel. And we weren't even staying at the hotel. And we got out of the hotel.
That's awesome.
We weren't tied up in any traffic. No.
Well, I tell you, in Japan, it's like the same thing. Like the train stops at a certain time. People rush to get on a train, but not a lot of people. I mean, yes, there are people who drive there, but the majority of the way you get around is trains. Is trains. You know what I mean? So the train system. So I'm glad I got to experience a lot of that culture.
Did you working in Japan?
Pardon?
Working in Japan?
Yeah, and just learning trains and public transportation. Like, I can land here, and I know that, heaven forbid, if anything goes wrong, I can get the SEPTA train to Center City.
Yes.
I can have somebody come get me there. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I am, in my personal life, for the past several months, I've been vehicularly challenged, right? And so, hey, it's not a big deal for me to save a little money and learn the city bus system. Or take Amtrak or whatever, you know what I mean? So, you just get that kind of culture experience, and it carries over into your work life and then also your personal life.
Absolutely. A lot of good questions.
See Jacob on Tuesday last night?
It looked incredible. He looked awesome, man.
He looked bigger.
Yeah.
Slimmer.
All he's had to do is he's worked out for 3 months straight.
He looks good.
I wish they would make him the leader of the new bloodline. I mean, as far as person,
without a doubt,
he's got the persona.
I don't know what your relationship is like with Solo, but like,
met him once, but Jacob, we're tight. Jacob had a tryout years ago. I want to say 2019.
Yeah.
And I actually in the Performance Center. I refereed Jacob Fatu versus Eddie Kingston in a WWE tryout match.
Oh man,
it was an awesome match. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. You wouldn't believe the tryout matches that I've refereed. Actually, for my tryout, I'm going to, because they had plans for me as a referee, but they had me do it as a wrestler, right? And so closing out the second ever tryout at the Performance Center, Drake Younger wrestled Ricochet at the WWE Performance Center.
Is that on tape?
It is somewhere. Yeah.
Oh my
We
God.
tore the freaking house down. Yeah, he beat me with a shooting star. Yeah, it was awesome, dude. Yeah.
And what'd they say? Who was watching it? How many people were there?
William, I mean, all the 60 of the tryout people, like William Regal, Terry Taylor, Joey Mercury, Robbie Brookside, everybody. Everybody was there. Yeah.
Anything you remember they saying when you were done the match?
They weren't concerned with the match. They were concerned with the promo. And I remember I cut a promo, and because they give you 60. That's really where you're judged at. The majority of the tryout is mostly mental. You know, can you keep up with what they're telling you? A lot of physical, but it's a lot of basic stuff. A lot of bumps, a lot of rolls, a lot of around the ropes, a whole lot of cardiovascular drills, stuff like that. I was prepped and ready for that, right? Got through that fine. So I was like, all right, on this promo, I got 60 seconds. And they want to see range. You know what I mean? They want to see a range of emotions. They want to see you connect. They want to see your eyes lock in with the camera, with the people at home and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, what? There's all these like 6'5", 230-pound jack dudes. There's CrossFit athletes, football players, you know, all this stuff. I got all these scars and all this stuff. I was like, okay, how can I use that to my advantage? So I started the promo. I'm wearing like button-up shirt with a tie, right? And like, you know, as a, hey, I'm a typical trainee. That's how I was dressed, right? So I cut the promo, and then like comes to a point where like, and I bring up like, you know, my death match past. Well, I've been through scars on my body. Tell the story of a man who's never allowed to be a boy. This, that, the other. And then like I tear this brand new dress shirt that I just bought, tear it off, rip it off. Everybody sees the scars, and then immediately I hear everybody goes, and I was like, all right, I got him. And then like Terry Taylor pulled me aside. He's like goosebumps. He's like, I got goosebumps from that. It's like, all right, sweet. You know what I mean? Everybody always talks, you know, and guys ask me nowadays, they're like, man, I do death matches. Am I ever? I was like, hell yeah, you can get there. That sets you apart. I use that as a way for me to be different than every other, you know, Joe Blow from Kokomo that was trying to get a tryout that, you know, looked the stereotypical part. And look, the better position for me at the time was referee. I'm glad it was. It worked out great. I learned so much more about our business and about life. But, you know, and I'll say this, being a good deathmatch wrestler is great. You know, again, you'll stand apart. There's too many guys that do it that just don't belong doing it. You know what I mean? But that's another conversation for another time. But be that as it may, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I got these scars. I've been in Japan, you know, Tournament of Death, but also like wrestled Claudio, I wrestled Daniel Bryan. So like, I had like a nice palette per se of a body of work. Dusty, I was fortunate enough to be around Dusty Rhodes the last year of his life, and he would always talk about, hey, you want to have a good body of work. You want people to look back and be like, okay, I did this here, did that there, transition to this. My look, you know what I mean? Like your look changes, everything like that. So I had at that point, 2013, I had a solid 8 years of a good body of work. You know what I mean? So I was able to use that to my advantage to stand out. And look, I mean, Triple H, he has people that watch everything, and they report to him. You know, he knew I was a deathmatch guy. He saw the scars on my head. He has the same scars on his head. He knows the deal. He knows what's up. And you know what I mean? He's like, I remember him telling me he was, you know, when I started to have a bigger role within NXT, you know, I remember like in Gorilla, and I learned how to time television and everything, so I'd be right next to him, you know, him giving me commands, because I learned how to do the timing, right?
Yes.
Him giving me commands, I'm giving it to the, you know, stuff like that. And so I remember him telling me, he's like, look, man, in our business, you've been through some shit. You've been through a lot of shit. You know, he goes, use that. You know, you can help these guys because of all the shit you've been through. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Is the perception real backstage about Triple H and, you know, the different philosophy in Vince, and he's more pushing that more independent talent? You know what I mean? Pushing more a
not necessarily
style.
independent talent, but he he wants. Again, I think there was a big thing on the internet that some people made fun of the embrace the grind type thing, but no, he wants people that want to embrace the grind.
Oh yeah,
the everyday grind of being a wrestler, being in the ring, and all that. I say whenever I would work the main roster event, and Vince was driving the car as opposed to NXT and Hunter driving the car, it's a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely,
Hunter is a little more involved, a little more open to feedback, and Vince has it his way.
Oh, yeah.
He has his vision, and he has no problems mother effing you and tell you know what I mean if you don't execute it to his way. You know what I mean? Yeah, he will blow a gasket quick. You know what I mean? Real quick. But again, it goes back to something I learned too. Like anything that is said in Gorilla back there.
Yes.
Once you leave, you got to leave it in there because it's not personal. It's nothing again, you're in the midst of a very millions of dollars that's going into a TV show, 2 or 3 hours, whatever it is that you're doing, live, and there's a lot of pressure and things are going to get said in the midst of the moment. And I hear stories from producers, and they tell me like, man, Vince said something to me, man, in that whole 4-hour drive to the next town, that's all I thought about. It ate me up.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? And so I'm glad they shared that experience with me. And look, there were a couple times where it happened to me, too. I messed up, and, Johnny Ace or whoever would, just tell me, it feels weird saying their names now, but I'm just going to say it from how it was then.
Oh, sure.
Everybody knows, they're monsters now or whatever, however you want to say it. Right?
Absolutely.
With stuff that they allegedly did.
Yes.
But again, my time working with their guys that changed my life financially, and that's who I reported to, right?
Correct.
And so, it would say stuff, and I would let it eat at me. But I remember, one time, Laurinaitis got mad at me about something. The Revival jump-started a match, and, without telling anybody, and I just let it go, and I never rang the bell to start the match. I never, yeah.
That's a big mistake.
Huge. Oh my God,
You
dude.
didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't. Nobody in the crowd noticed it.
But this was live TV.
Raw.
Yes.
Raw.
So
Revival and Usos.
You're supposed to go like that.
You have to start the match, but they jump started in WWE. You have to separate them, back them up. Hey, are you okay? Then ring the bell. But they weren't supposed to jump start. They were just so excited they jump started the Usos, jumped them, and I was like, what the? And then I just kept going with the match. And Billy Kim was like, hey Drake, you gonna ring the fucking bell? And and I could hear Vince in the background, goddamn referee. And somebody told me in the back, Vince had a pencil. And he's like, oh my God, it's goddamn referee. He didn't fucking ring the bell. There's no fucking bell. The match didn't fucking start yet. Why are they counting? You know what I mean? He's freaking out, dude. And so I get to the back, and Laurinaitis pulls me and says, Drake, come here. And he's like, what are you doing? You didn't ring the you gotta have control in there. He blasted me, and so it's Laurinaitis looking at me, John Cone, Adam Pearson, Captain Mike Rotunda randomly was there too. So my back's up against the curtain like this, dude. And so my back's against the wall. All 4 of these guys just look. And Johnny Ace, his face is red. He's not yet, but he's aggressive with it, right? So I take it, and this is why I learned. I took it, and then I just said, "Sir, you're absolutely right. I am so sorry. I made a terrible call out there. But, sir, it will never happen again. I'm sorry, it won't happen again." And then he just calmed down. He's like, "Okay, thank you." And then everything was fine. It was just it's all about how you react to it, too. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Nobody would think of talking back and be like, I didn't know. Blame them. They didn't.
Not a referee.
Oh, no.
No, yeah. I mean, no, if it gets, over the line, sure. But no, dude, no, you don't. You can't take it personal.
You gotta eat it.
Yeah, dude, I've heard Vince say stuff to Randy Orton, and Randy Orton, who's the biggest, he was like, Yes, boss. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, boss. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, it's just a hierarchy that you got out there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's the perfectionist he was, where everything is so fine-tuned on television from when you walk out to when they cut to commercial.
Yeah. And you know what's great? When we were pre-taping Raw and SmackDown during the Thunderdome, during COVID and everything, dude, it was a blessing and a curse because hey, we could get stuff like really right, but the curse was Vince being a perfectionist. He would stop the match.
Oh, really?
And have to redo it if he ever. Yeah.
Did he do that during the Thunderdome or just the
during the performance? Because
I think
the Thunderdome was live. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. During the performance, he would stop it, and then he'd send Johnny Ace out to restart the match and to communicate what they needed to do wrong. Dude.
Now, one thing
he in the headset, he'd be like, "Stop it down, stop it down, stop the match, stop it down," and then they come out and like, can you imagine the mind screwing with those? You know what I mean?
I think somebody leaked a footage online of Alexa Bliss and I think it was Bailey of stopping the match or something. Yep. Maybe I've been watching too long, but one thing I can't stand, and I guess it's just their production technique. Like Logan Paul's in an elimination chamber cage, and there's 5 other guys. So Logan Paul reaches down, puts on his brass knucks.
Yeah.
The camera goes extremely tight.
Yeah.
You know that's cue someone's going to blindside him. Like every time someone's going to get blindsided, they cut the ring and kind of like go tight on them. And you know.
Yeah.
Like they did it with Daniel Bryan in the kicks with the running kick.
Yep.
Like they would go extremely tight and cut the ring off in the frame.
Yeah.
And you just knew someone was going to come from behind.
Roman Reigns would come out of nowhere with a Superman punch.
Yes. It's just their production. It's just their production technique.
I remember there was a gripe about the quick cuts. How
they did that shaky thing for a while.
For a hot minute, yeah.
I think they stopped doing it, but the one thing that like little things like TNA. The bright yellow ropes looks like caution tape. It's an eyesore to watch. I can't watch the it's distract like little things.
Yeah, I remember when we did the Susan G. Komen thing, and I remember I love the era when SmackDown had the blue ropes. It was like 2016 when the brand split happened again.
Yes,
SmackDown had the blue ropes. Like AJ Styles was like the and then Raw had the red ropes. Kevin Owens all. They're like. It was weird because they would have us take the middle rope pink, but it was like blue, pink, blue. Just looked, it threw me off really bad. Yeah.
Were you there when they did the cruiserweights, the 205 Live, and they put them in the middle of Raw, and they would change the ropes to purple in the middle of the program, and then commercial break.
They actually had to come up with a new technique instead of wrapping the tape to conserve, because if you have layers and layers of tape, the ropes are going to get too thick and everything. Plus, it's time consuming.
Oh yeah.
So they came up with a new technique of putting the tape on long, like horizontally. Yeah, and so they would put, and then they would carefully put it on horizontally, and it would cut out time, and then they could just tear that tape off.
Yeah.
Hardcore. So yeah.
I was going to go back to WWF is very technical with all the, from what you're saying, ringing the bell, timing.
WWE, you mean?
The WWE.
I don't want you to have to mute that out.
I don't want you to get sued.
What did I say?
You said WWE, you said the World Wildlife Fund.
Oh, WWF.
I'm joking, I'm ripping with you. But yeah.
So they're real technical about everything. Now, when you're in the Indies, now after you went there to WWE, and then you came back to the Indies, and you see like the bell not being run right, people jumping in the ring. Do you mentally say, oh, they're not? Oh God, does that?
No. I coach them up.
So you tell promoters and wrestlers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
because it irks you, or you want to?
No, I mean, I don't want to say irks me. It's just I want to get back to the business and help them have a better presentation. Like the saggy's apron skirt, where it's like the smiley face.
Oh yeah,
like stuff like that. Back in the day, like I wouldn't even think twice about. But now, like that. Oh my God, that's a big trigger for me. So I'm like, hey, let's tighten this apron skirt.
Right.
And then whenever I do seminars, you know, I don't run guys to death. I don't bump them and everything. I talk about camera positioning. I talk about, you know what I mean, getting in position to make the cover to where the hard cam catches you. Talking about, you know, taking 3 to 5 seconds that way the camera catches your face, because this 6 to 8 inches is where you're going to make your money. I talk about, hey, a great promo is awesome, but if you can't fit it into 45 seconds, then it's not worth anything, because you got to be able to hit your time like that. You know, I'll talk with them, you know, about making sure the ring, the canvas is nice and tight, so we guys don't trip. The presentation looks better. About the referees not looking like shit. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. Like I go in that because I want the business to be great. Right. I was blessed to have this, like, I look at it as like, man, I got the best, like, paid college education ever. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, dude, a part of my daily work activity for a couple years is 4 or 5 days a week I watched wrestling with Shawn Michaels, and he would break shit down. Like, that was work. It didn't work. That's a vacation.
Wow.
You know what I mean? How can I not pay that? Yeah. How can I not pay that forward to guys that I'm with now? So, like, the time that I've been back on the Indies, again, I'm selective about who I work with. I'm you know, get a good amount of bookings, but I don't take everything. I want it to be worthwhile. Plus, you know, I want to take care of my body, and I want it to mean something when I'm out there. But, you know, when I'm there, man, I love giving back. I love teaching guys. I love helping guys, especially the deathmatch guys.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, have you ever had somebody, you know, don't mention names, you know what I mean? Have you ever said someone like blow you off, like, yeah, I mean, I'm guessing with your experience, they're gonna be like, oh, really? Thanks. Hey,
yeah, no,
would somebody be like, hey, man, you know?
No, absolutely. I mean, there's this. I don't even know his wrestling name.
Yeah, that's okay.
He's one of the freaking stunt guys from POR.
Oh, okay.
So, like, he in Detroit, I saw him wrestle, and like he did a great job. But like, he's taking all these big moves, you know, and he's like 160 pounds, right? He's taking all these big moves, bam, 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 bloody as hell, tore it up, did a great job. I'm like, man, you did an awesome job out there. And then the next match is going on, I see him like standing out with the fans, like in his regular pose, just like standing there watching the match. And I pulled him aside. I'm like, hey man, like, you're a performer, you're a wrestler, you're on the show, so like there's a time and a place to be out there, like at the table or whatever, but like you just got you know, kicked out of a bunch of stuff and had a badass match with a way bigger dude, and like you're out here standing amongst the people watching another match when really you should be back behind the curtain, and two, you're not selling or registering what happened to you.
Right,
so, like, you're insulting intelligence.
I don't ain't that bad.
Like you're 160 pounds, and then like, so the next show, I see him, I'm like, hey man, so when you have your match tonight, like, remember, like, stay in the back, sell what happened to you, make it mean more, rather than doing 19 things, do, you know, 6 impactful things, let it register, and then, like, if you're gonna go out, do it in intermission or whatever, and register what happened to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're not gonna insult the fans. Everybody knows it's a work, but like, dude, like, a deathmatch is hurt.
Like me, protect the business.
Deathmatch is hurt for real. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to act like a tough guy. You know what I mean? When I'm all cut up, if somebody pats me on the back, it fucking hurts. And I tell them, please do not hug me hard like that. My back is cut. You know what I mean? Like, because it legit hurts. You know what I mean?
You don't want to prancing out there.
Yeah, and the dude,
makes sense.
So the dude didn't listen to me, and he's just like, all right, well, I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. I've worked 7 WrestleManias. I main evented Cork and Hall, main evented the ECW Arena 29 times. I fucking bought a house from wrestling. This guy don't want to listen to me, fuck it.
Yeah.
Moving on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I'm not gonna waste more of my time, my energy, because you know, I also people got to look at it. I got to look at it like, look, when I go to do a booking, it's not just that 15, 20, 25 minutes that I'm in the ring. dude, I am going away from I'm spending a lot of time away from my kids. My work starts the day before when I fly, and I usually have to take 2 flights to go to whatever town I'm in. I got to go to the gym, I got to tan, I got to, go to the ring, and then I got to do the match, and then I got to travel home, and then I got to get a bus or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a big one. So I am not. If somebody's not gonna, you're not gonna take what I'm given. Hey, more power to you. Not a problem. But I'm not gonna waste my time and energy anymore.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe he doesn't even think he's looking busy doing that stuff. You know what I mean? I know what you're saying.
Maybe not, but you know what I mean?
No, you're perfectionist. See, that's why you are what you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, yeah.
And look, nice guy, but
I know.
my neighbor's a nice guy too.
That's right.
Yeah. Doesn't mean he belongs to the deathmatch business.
I'm telling you. Now, when you go to your mount back, and even before you went became a referee,
yeah,
you had your Mid-South groups of fans and people.
Yep.
And you'd come to CZW, and then you did different areas.
Yes.
So, like
Germany,
right now.
Yeah, that's all.
Do you look forward, like when you go to another, like you say, wow, I got my crew of people, like different friends, you became friends with a lot of different people in Philadelphia.
Sure, yeah.
Now, so would you look forward to like that being like, I'm looking forward to going to Philly and seeing the different people, and then it's like you had like a different life that you would have like a complete like family of people and friends and workers in different cities where nobody else would have that. Like I don't know 20 people in another city, you know what I mean?
Dude, you could put me in the middle of Brussels, Belgium with a $20 bill and no cell phone, and I'll find somebody. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
Yeah, I don't know you.
Yeah, but no, like, I mean, in the matter of a month, right, I would have like a Philly show at CZW, right, and like I would have like people that know me there, watch me come up, watch me come on TV in the business. Next night I might be in Joliet, Illinois for IW Mid-South. That's a whole new different crew of people.
Yeah.
Next weekend I'd be in LA for Battle of Los Angeles, PWG or something. That's a whole nother crew of SoCal people that I have.
Right.
Then I'd be in Sacramento or San Francisco for APW in Hayward, California, Oakland more so. That's a whole nother crew of people that like know me that way. And then and then I go to Germany, in Dusseldorf, Germany, fans there that know me in a different light, a different way, and you know what I mean. And then the fans in Japan, there's a handful of them that know me in a different way. So like it's incredibly cool because yes, fans, but again, you do, especially through Facebook and social media, you get to because I'm open about my life, my personal struggles, everything like that, because I want people to learn from it, and I also want to inspire people as well through struggling. And so you kind of form this connection, this bond with people, and I'm incredibly fortunate, man. Like, there's fans that I consider friends and close acquaintances, and like, I'm not huge on merchandise, but anytime I drop a new picture, a new t-shirt, they support me by buying it, you know what I mean? I like whenever... anytime any of my kids were born, I had a bunch of them, like fans would send...
You got a bunch of kids?
I do. Fans would send like, baby presents and stuff like that and everything. So yeah, and by the way, that just reminds me, quick sidebar, but just speaking to Triple H, right? You were talking about earlier how now Triple H is running the ship, and it's a great, everybody's fired up about it. It's a great move, right? I'll speak to the kind of man that him and Stephanie are, right? So in 2018, when our third child was being born, Matthew. So there's you get at NXT you would get like a week vacation of days that you can use anytime, right? And so like I let Matt Bloom know I was like, hey Valerie's getting ready to have a baby. I want to take my vacation days, and then he was like, yeah, not a problem. And then like he pulled me aside, he goes, hey, this is from the top. We want you to take 3 weeks off. Like 3 weeks to be at home. And it was paid, right? So I took 3 weeks off so I could be at home. It's the first child that because when my daughter was born, I went back to wrestling the next day. My son was born, my first son was born. I had a flight to Germany I had to catch the next day for WXW. You know what I mean? I was there for the birth, but you know, the important stuff.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
all, you know what I mean?
Okay. They knew that too.
Right, and so when Matthew was born, they gave me 3 weeks off, so I got to be home, and we did a home birth, and it was a big deal, it was awesome. But then, like, 2 weeks later, bro, these 3 giant FedEx boxes show up at my house. And there's gifts for my bigger kids. There's gifts for Matthew that have his name on it, Rocky Morton. There's all these giant amounts of baby gifts. And it was personally from Hunter and Stephanie.
It's amazing.
Dude, I'm a referee. I'm low on the totem pole.
Yes.
Low, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But like, and people, like, the internet laughs and say I'm cheesy when I say the family, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, you're part of the family. You know what I mean? And even to this day, and I don't mind saying it, like, dude, like, last year, I had 11 years of sobriety. Shit hit the fan. I'm a grown man. I made mistakes, and I relapsed, right? Made a lot of bad decisions in a short amount of time. But through the WWE Substance Abuse Program, you know, if you're serious about getting help, no matter your position was with the company or how long you worked with them or whatever, they will pay for your treatment, but help you get however they can. And so, you know, I had hit my bottom, right? And luckily I didn't lose everything, but I hit my bottom. Reached out to the company, said, hey, I need help. They sent me to rehab, to residential treatment. And this treatment center, dude, it's like, I mean, a lot of money. I mean, it's probably $2,000 a day that they were paying. And like, whatever. But anyway, they paid for my treatment. I was there for like 50 days. Then they continue to help me with my outpatient treatment. They help me with my sober living. They said, Drake, we want you to be the best version of you. Even, you know what I mean? And I haven't worked there since 2021. And that comes from Hunter.
You're doing good.
You know what I mean? And so, like, and here I am today, you know, strong in my sobriety and everything. And look, yeah, it's work that I put in, going to meetings, doing treatment, going to rehab and all that. Like, yes, it's hard work. But if WWE didn't give me that opportunity to be able to put my life on hold and take care of myself, I would have died. I would have died.
I hate hearing that. Okay, well,
yeah.
all right, okay.
Yeah, I would have. I would have died.
Definitely good this time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I know the mistakes I made last time. I don't, you know, I just not working the program. Yeah. So, again, dude, they saved my life. They've saved so many other guys' lives as well. You know, so, and again, that's the kind of guy that's running the company.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Drake, it's past 6. I want to go with the time.
Yeah.
The last question. If you have one message for the professional wrestling world, what would it be?
For professional wrestling world?
Wow.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for the professional wrestling world. Are you talking fans, wrestlers, everybody?
Everybody.
Yeah, so professional wrestling, it's an incredible gift that we're blessed with. As performers, as fans, as support staff, it's the greatest form of entertainment in the world. It's also one of the most difficult jobs to have in the world. But man, it is incredibly beautiful. Wrestling has provided me with a wonderful life. As somebody in the business, it also has provided me with incredible memories as somebody who just admires the business. I would say this in the landscape of 2024 and everything. I would encourage everybody, when you're watching wrestling, when you're watching a product, think of what brought you to the dance. Think of what made you want to fall in love with this art form to begin with. Yes, there is a lot of fat that needs to be trimmed from our business for bourbon. I'll be the first one to say that. However, when it comes to, you know, this company, that company, whatever, you know, support what you love, watch what you love, and for the wrestlers that are out there, whether you've been in the business for a while, whether you're just starting, whether you're coming up, the one thing that I would say to you is wrestle with your heart. If you're a referee with your heart. Every single night that you're in the ring, it's a gift, it's a privilege, it's an honor, it's a blessing. Bring your whole entire heart to everything that you do. And I promise this is not cheesy saying, if you are good to this business, if you respect this business, if you love this business, if you do it the right way to the absolute best of your ability, it will love you back and you will have a wonderful life.
Thank you, Drake.
Thank you, man.
Oh, good.
Drake Younger. It's better than ever. I'm leaving.
a strong style. People stand up and chant loud when he walks down the aisle. 100% hypertailing, grapples on the mat, high flies and does death matches. Second time in TOD, exile, brain damage through a hard fist to the chin. Drew a gallon of ooze from the forehead, a short thread of skin blows in the wind. It's dangling, fierce lines flashing from the Drake's landing. You got both of your arms locked in, like David Lynch in the race ahead. All the huge cuts make you produce adrenaline, gasping for oxygen, breathe it all in, take a bump like Gabe.